Liam,
Hello,
who are we covering?
the Viagra Boys.
That's it.
Yeah,
Viagra Boys they're back. And we're
solid.
going to be talking about their latest album, which goes by the name Cave World.
I would
Okay?
enjoy a cave world dedicated to Nick Cave. Like an amusement park.
Well, that's
full
funny you
of
should
Nick
mention
Cave.
him because his
we go.
name is actually, I don't know if you caught on to this, his surname, Cave, is the first word from the title of this album.
What?
Wow, what a
How
coincidence.
weird's that?
What? And he
yeah.
and he loves Viagra as well. I've heard. Posted,
Another
like, TikTok.
coincidence is that in the vocals, in some places, I got a bit of Nick Cave.
Yeah, same. That's what I was really trying to get at,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
Viagra just got in the way, didn't it? Let's talk about it track by track.
Let's.
And let's explain to everyone why it's not a 9 out of 10, as some people would have you believe. We're going to start by the song "Baby Criminal." Now, if you did come across a baby who was a criminal, what would you say is the most likely crime
I'd kill him.
that would have?
It'd be a firm drop kick.
Eradicate them before doing.
What do you think the most likely crime would be?
breaking
committed?
noise pollution levels?
Extortion.
Extortion. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of
I'll go with that.
vandalism. Vandalism, probably. Yeah. And indecent exposure. Many.
Yes.
All sorts. I was
Yeah.
waddling around IB for it too. My Willie hanging out.
Hang her out. You Willie hanger.
Hanging out.
Oh, Willie. Baby Criminal, let's talk about that now. The song, I think it's a powerful opener
Oh,
to
yeah.
the album.
So it is.
Rigid opener. Solid opener.
Firm.
Veiny.
Stiff.
Yeah, it's all right. The music was good.
full of
Vocals
blood.
were a bit less good, but they were still good. Solid opener.
Yep.
Pardon the pun that time.
Full of blood and ready for a party.
Young, dumb, full of cum.
Is that it?
That's my review, yeah.
Sound.
It's
Next
going to
we
be a
goes-
short one, this, I think. We might get
Yeah.
this done in under an hour.
Next, we have the little interlude, Cave Hole. I
I've been there. I've been in a cave hole.
don't think I've been in a cave hole since the last time I saw your mum, Cal.
Fucking hell. Don't put that in the teaser. Jesus Christ.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
Absolutely no
gosh.
need. I'm sure you've had one of my mum's lasagnas before. Where's the need for that?
Exactly.
This
This was a this
I'm all
was a
flustered.
nice
Oh,
transition between the two songs, one before, one after. However, pointless. As
Very-
are all of the interludes on this album.
I don't
Very
think
pointless.
so. It's a bit. It works well, I think, and it's actually quite interesting thing to do to put it as the straight after the first song. I think like you've got this intro, and it's like, right, we're leading you in. I feel like that's quite
I have to disagree
interesting concept.
so powerfully with what you're saying.
That is one adjective to use. It's not one I'd use. Pointless. Although it was a lovely transition into Troglodyte, which is the next track, and I can confirm it still stonks.
I forgot we covered this. Some of the vocal performance on this just doesn't sit well with me. And
Oh.
for that reason, I'm out.
Stonk denied.
I love the yeah that part. Love that.
Oh,
The chorus.
I must have left the track on.
I know it was pitch perfect. I know, but I absolutely love that. That really, every time I hear it, I go, oh, I really push the
Liam,
boat here.
Leave your cap alone.
I can't.
You're
I'm
gonna
sweating, I can't
you're gonna
take it off.
have a receding
No cap.
hairline with how much you are.
He already is.
taking
But I'm
that
pushing
cap.
forward. Shouldn't be.
There's no saving that hairline, mate. Punk rock loser. I just put don't like this.
No, this is number 1 on their Spotify. For plays.
The last
Obviously,
single,
it's
though,
like
isn't it?
yeah, but I thought this was naff.
Yeah, it was
Boring.
Is naff.
I think it's all right. I think though, sorry
What
to.
realm are you coming from?
No,
It's
like,
not
I
sorry,
think
mate.
it's
It's
all right.
Viagra Boys.
I don't think it's great. I think it's all right. I like some of the sounds in it, but I was just going to touch on a point you made before, Yanni, about forgetting that the Troglodyte was a single, and I think that's an interesting thing to touch on because, from the singles and when we covered them, it felt like when one came out every few weeks, it was the same song coming out every few weeks,
Hmm.
and I do think in the context of this album, they differentiate themselves enough, and it makes a lot more sense now. This song
agree.
included, although I think this is the weakest of the singles.
Yep.
Okay.
Good
Alright.
point.
Yeah, thanks.
Good point.
Well argued.
Well made. Next one, creepy crawlers.
Hey,
I
your
don't
mum's
know.
back out.
Fucking hell.
Sorry.
What would you do if I actually
No,
shown this to Emma? She would batter you both.
I'll just avoid it for
Oh,
the rest
she'd
of my
know
life.
we were joking. Yeah, she can take a joke just as well as she can take my review of this song, which was
it coming?
I don't know where to begin with this. That's what I wrote, and I don't know what I meant by that. But probably I didn't enjoy it.
Was so all the commentary about vaccines on this album is it
Please.
is it ironic or is it
Yeah,
genuine?
I think it's ironic.
Now I've got a point to make about that from the last song, but since you've brought it up, I am sick of hearing about vaccines on this album. Stop mentioning vaccines. It's so annoying to hear it on this album. It really dates the album, for one.
When we do a classic of this in 20 years' time,
I'm not covering this. I refuse.
has it aged well? No.
It's
The whole thing here is about
It's
like
just so
evolution and how
stupid.
we as a culture have kind of looked after ourselves or not, and that kind of all plays into that, doesn't it? I think that's the whole point of this album.
Profound.
Thank you. They're actually going to put that on the blurb or the back. Albums don't have blurbs, but if they write a book, they can use it. But yeah, no, the whole vaccine thing, I assume it's ironic because it definitely sounds ironic. It doesn't sound genuine. It doesn't sound like Kid Rock. Thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just a bit like, all right, yeah, okay.
we had
Something
the
else now.
point.
You know what I mean? Like, shut the
It was
fuck
like
up.
all the references to fucking apes and stuff that happened in pretty much every song.
Yeah.
It made it feel like it was the same song because it kept on referencing the same thing.
It's
I
just
get there's a
cohesive,
point
isn't
of
it?
trying to make an album cohesive and have like a through line, but this was like the extreme of that. Of like you just bringing up the exact same thing, making the same point.
A lot of the same words, a lot of the same lines throughout the album.
Yeah.
There was even like just the word future was thrown around a lot, which isn't necessarily like, I guess that is part of the story, quote unquote. But it just didn't feel very inventive in the kind of lyrical department for most of it. Apart from what a song will come on to in a bit. But yeah, for this one, yeah, shut up about acting.
I thought this was a bit of a
next
pickup
one.
from Punk Rock
Okay.
Loser, but I didn't really care for it. Nor did I care for the cognitive trade off hypothesis. I struggled with that one. It was
Well,
it was decent,
yeah.
but I just don't care. You know. Sorry, but I just don't.
Well, funny enough, this is the first track that grabbed me
Wow.
immediately. As soon as it started, I thought, "Oh, okay, interesting." I feel like it something from like mid to 2010s pop is what I put. Like the style of the music. I can't quite describe exactly what it was about it,
Like,
but please give me the comparison because I feel
I'm
like it
feeling like
sounded like
Naked
something.
and Famous, or
Could be
like
that.
MGMT. That's a bit earlier. Well, maybe I'm off. I don't think it sounds like either of those, but that's the kind of.
I don't know. I got some kind of vibe from it anyway.
Okay.
The only thing that I said was sort of negative about this was that it just went on for too long.
Yeah, I agree. It
So-
went on a bit too long, but I quite enjoyed this one. I've listened to this album twice. The first time, this one I actually was like, "Oh, this is going on too long," and then when I listened to it again today, I actually quite enjoyed this one. I don't know what the difference was, but I like the way he sings the chorus. I like the music element of it. And again, it's very specific lyrics to what they're kind of going for. This one especially. But yeah, I thought this one was pretty alright.
And then we have Glow Birth, which is another interlude. I'm not going to waste any time on that. I thought it was pointless. Liam probably doesn't.
No, that one is
It does
pointless.
transition well into Ain't No Thief.
It does.
But at that point, you put it at the start. Same thought as when we reviewed this. I still like this one. I like the lyrical content because it is different. And it's funny. And
Yeah.
I like the musical elements of this as well. This would probably be my favourite of the album.
I agree with you there.
This one, I didn't really pay any attention really to the lyrics, apart from the ones you kind of catch when listening to it when we covered it as a single. But when listening to it today, the lyrics are great. Like really funny. Like some of the bits like towards the end of like, and my granddaddy got me a lighter exact same as yours and created one the same as yours or something. It's just quite a funny concept.
It's a slapper, as we say here in Fool's Land. Big Boy is next, featuring Jason Williamson from Sleaford Mods.
Yep.
And that is a feature I think works extremely well.
Yes.
The track itself was all right, and then I wasn't paying attention. And then when I heard Jason's voice come in, I was like, oh yeah, I'm grabbed again. Maybe I just like Sleaford Mods. Who knew? But overall, the track, it was all right. But I would have preferred it to have just been Jason, to be honest.
I like this one. I like the bass line in it. It's cool. It was kind of sort of like walking pace, but like in a good way. The interesting parts throughout it even. The Sleaford Mods inclusion was good. I enjoyed it. Which probably is a surprise because I don't think I've been that complimentary on any Sleaford Mods we covered. And I liked towards the end when there was like a sort of weird 90s house sort of music that was being incorporated into the song.
Like Fatboy Slim song.
Yeah.
Towards the
end. But yeah, I like this one as well.
I just wish there was more Jason Williamson, to be honest. I feel
Can I
like
listen to Sleaford Mods?
It must be as I've listened to some Sleaford Mods recently. I think that must be, part of getting old. But I watched their set at Glastonbury and enjoyed it, and Lydia was thoroughly not enjoying it. But yeah, when I first saw this and like the little video they put out of it, I haven't seen an actual music video, but them as like kind of like video game character looking things, I thought it was pretty cool. And yeah, I just was shocked that he only came in after like the 4-minute mark or something, and hardly did anything, because I feel like that's a good inclusion, just like I thought Amy Taylor was in the last album. Again, I'm sure you would both agree with this. Not the best use of Amy Taylor. I like that song personally, but I think the same with this. Not the best use of Jason Williamson. And I just think, who's next? Probably Billy No Mate or something. I feel like we're just in the same circle of the same artists all joining each other's songs and stuff. But I would very much enjoy Billy No Mate on many songs. But yeah, anyway, this song should have been more.
Nice. Next we've got ADD. This was boring.
I've lost my notes. It was all right. I liked the hook despite it being repetitive. But yeah, it didn't stand out amongst ones that I didn't really enjoy. So probably agree with you.
Same. Mirrors.
Cool. Then we've got Human Error, which is the last of the interludes from the track. Bit glitchy. Then goes into Return to
Monkey.
Which is, unfortunately, I've covered the comment that I made. But yes, I am sick of hearing about vaccines on this album. And I just didn't really care about this track, to be honest with you. At this point, I was just wanting to finish.
Yeah, I agree. I think the intro to this track promised a lot, and it didn't really live up to that. It was a decent ender. I can see why they chose it out of the tracks, but overall, kind of sums up the album, really. Just a bit, bit of nothingness.
I think just to quickly touch on the interlude before this, the same with the other two interludes, does a good job of calm before the storm sort of thing. I think they really worked that well. I do agree they're all too long, but still did that well. And I guess the intro of this song also leads into it. But yeah, I quite like this one. I think it's all right. I like the Leave Society Be a Monkey thing. I think that sounds pretty cool, and I reckon this would be very good live. As I'm sure they're great live, to be honest. I'm sure if you see Viagra Boys live, they're probably one of the best live bands.
Who?
Viagra Boys?
Sorry.
If you see the Viagra Boys live, they'll probably be the best live band you've ever seen, regardless of whether you like their music or not. And I think this would definitely stand out
That's
live.
a bold statement.
Well, I think it's true.
Unless you like Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah. But it's the same thing.
Wagon
like,
wheels.
It's the same thing as like when we would say Fontaine's DC, Yanni. And
That's me.
I know you were quite lukewarm, and I was only just a bit. I was tepid. Tepid's very hot. Is tepid hot?
Could you put a baby criminal in there?
You can if it fits. But yeah, same concept. But yeah, that's the album. Yeah.
That is the album.
That is the album. Now we must rate. So, Colin, give me your rating.
Well, it's not a 9, that's for sure, Mr. Fantano.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you. 5.
Okay, Liam.
A lot of this is based on the big jump from my first listen to the second listen. Maybe that's influencing the score a bit too much, but I'm saying 7.
Okay. I don't understand what your comment was trying to get at there, because
he likes it more because he
I
knows
was
that
quite
Fantano
shocked.
rated it a 9.
No,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
true. It's not true at all. I didn't say I didn't like it in the first place. I just said it wasn't that interesting. I did not once say I didn't like it. The first time I listened to it, the second half, I was very much not paying attention or enjoying it. No, I was bored, is what I'm saying. The second time I listened to it, I enjoyed the first half and I enjoyed the second
you
half.
knew you had to be entertained.
No.
Are you not entertained?
And I was shocked by that. And so I think maybe I'm riding on a bit of a high there in that sense, if that makes sense. Maybe once, if you ask me again in a few days, it's only a 6 or something, but right now it's a 7.
I don't care at that point. It's here and now, baby.
Well, I'm giving it a 7. 2 weeks controversial reviews.
Okay. Well, Cal, it's a 5.
It's 5.
I don't think it's a 5. I think you're both.
It definitely is, though.
5.
It definitely is a 5.
Well, I gave something a 5 last week, and you were both like,
Yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah,
that's
but
why.
you were
What
wrong.
was that last week? Don't even remember.
Neither do you.
I can't remember. What
I'm
we
going to
covered
check it
last
out right
week.
now because I want to make a point. Not loading though. We covered Paolo. Oh, I said Paolo's a 5. I think this is a better album than Paolo's
That
album.
was
That's a
definitely
joke.
not a 5.
I think there are much better songs on. The problem with this album is it works, I think, very well as an album. There's no standout songs. The Viagra Boys album. And that's what doesn't make it any higher. Paolo's album had 3 very good songs and the rest was boring.
But very good songs is an understatement.
Yeah, but you
3
can't.
potential songs of the year.
But we're recording the album. We are reviewing the album. Review those songs individually. They are an 11 out of 10 minimum. But the album isn't. And I think the flip side for Viagra Boys.
Talking to Paolo, Acid Eyes is much better live.
Yes. And
I think it's pretty
Shine a Light, even though I already sort of like that
He
one.
finished
That was
he finished on that, didn't he?
good. Yeah, I thought it was a good.
I
nice
didn't watch
closer.
it, but I thought it was strange just seeing it at the bottom. It seems like a strange closer.
No, it worked. It worked. Liam, please,
Go on
Mr. Average Man,
Mm-hmm.
give me the mean of those scores.
That would be 5.
The mean?
Oh, you're doing this the wrong way around.
I
You always
know.
saw the mode. I was
And I caught you out,
confused
didn't
then.
I? You're not paying attention to me.
I don't ever. 5.6 recurring, I think,
Okay. And the mode,
is 5.
and the median,
Is 5.
and then, I mean,
Wow. Field
I
day for the
think-
Range Boys.
the Range Boys are going to have a hard on. What is it?
It's a 2.
Eh,
2
It's a
big boys.
sturdy 2.
2 big boys.